Hi, my name's Oz. I'm one of the co-founders at Dapple, and today I'm going to show you how to set up the system from scratch, create a brand new organization, then go through those different simple setup steps to get live and going and taking submissions. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to app.dapplehq.com/setup, which will take me through to this page where I can create that brand new organization. So I've just put in the organization name, I've put a logo in there, and then I'm just going to click on continue. I can then choose what kind of industry I am. So in this case, my fictional venue is an art exhibition. So I'm going to select art, and then of those I have some more different sub options, and then I'm going to select exhibitions off the back of that. Now it's now going to ask me for I can create an account with either a Google or a Microsoft, or I can do it with an email address. So I'm just going to put in an email in there, and that's then going to send me an email with a link which I can then follow, which will then set up my account. I've just received this email, so I'm just going to select this option here, and you'll see it then starts to create my account. And what it will do is it will configure the account based on what industry and then sub-industry you've put in there. So I put an art exhibition, and so it's going to create my account based on that and create a project or multiple projects based on an art exhibition. So you can see it's just created everything here, and I'm just going to put in my name in here like this. And you can see that it's just created this account. There's no data in here at the moment because obviously brand new organization without any submissions in there. So once you start seeing submissions, you'll see all this populated with data. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my general settings. So up here you can see my logo's already appearing up here, and I'm going to click on the option and go to the settings option up here to configure my general settings. So I've got the organization name I put in before, so just double check that. I've got my logo, again you can chop and change that if you want to, the primary industry that I'm in, and also the country that I'm located. Next I want to look at my tags. So you can see that we've already created some tags for you. We've got two kinds of tags, submission tags and creator tags. Submission tags are those that you can put on each individual submission, such as maybe it's high quality or it's a referral, one of those kind of things. Creator tags are those that you can put on a creator profile. So if that person ever submits in the future, it will pop up that not only have they submitted before, but maybe they're high quality or serial submits, whatever it might be. So you can add those as many as you want in there, make them different colors, edit the ones that exist in there already. Next, I want to look at my message template. So again, we've created a few of these for you already, but again, you can customize these, create as many as you want. These are great for saving time, writing out the same messages, or sending bulk messages. You can choose a template in there. So you can create those in there. In this section, you can connect your Stripe account. So if you take submission fees or entry fees, you just need to follow the steps by following this to integrate directly into your own Stripe account, meaning that every payment you take through the system, it will immediately get deposited into your own Stripe account. Now make sure that the country is correct, and also the currency that you want to take payments in is set down here as well. Next at the top here, I want to just double check my users, so I can add multiple users to the system and give them all different permissions as well. And you can also create your own individual teams as well. So maybe you want a team for one purpose and another team for another one. You can have users in different teams, each with different permissions within those different teams as well. So lots of flexibility there. So again, add your users and then add your teams, put your users in different teams. I'll get to pages in a second. Plan, you can update your plan, upgrade to a paid plan at any point. We've got several different plans to choose from, each of which gives you different features and different allowance of different usage numbers in here. And then you've got a data and activity section, which is just basically a log of every change that you make in the system. There's a couple of other things you can do in here, but again, no setup required here. So if I head back to the top here, just another thing to note is we have this option called demo mode. If you want to test anything at any point, you can use demo mode in here. Basically, that means creating a brand new account in here. You can create as many demo accounts as you want, create different projects, different users, put them in there, different automations, all that kind of thing, without affecting any of your live data. So you can have a play around with that if you so wish. Now the main bit of setup that you're going to need to do is your projects. So if I head over to the projects section over here, you'll see that this is the centralized hub where all of your calls, all of your awards, whatever it might be, or your contests, all live in this place here. And so you'll need to configure these in order to get those calls live. As you can see, we've already created some based on the industry that you set before, already created these, pre-populated them with templates of forms and different stages and stuff like that. So have a look at these and configure them as you so wish. As you can see, because I'm an exhibition, call for entry and art has appeared at the top here. So I'm going to look at this one and look at setting this one up correctly. So the way to do that is I'm going to head to the settings section to bring me through to those project settings. The first thing I want to do here is just check the name of my project or my call. So I'm going to do that at the top. I'm just going to rename this in here. The Dapple Annual Prize. I've got the link to my form that's already up here. I've got the visibility and the availability as well. When you're ready to go live, you can change this in here, and you can also put dates. If you're open and close between certain dates, you can put those in there. So I'm just going to save my title of this in there. Now, the first thing I want to do really is look at the stages section. So if I select stages here, you'll see it takes me through to this section. Stages represent the different parts of a submission's journey. So whether it be from the moment they submitted to when they're rejected or completed, these represent those different parts of that journey. So you can have multiple stages, you can add as many stages as you want, you can move them around into different orders, you can call them different names, set automations, all that kind of thing. So if we just look at this one here, shortlisted, I can click on this option over here. I can edit the name of the stage. I can also edit how this appears to creators as well. So you might not want creators to see which stage they're at. So you could maybe just put a generic in progress like I've done, or like we've set up as standard for these two here. You can change the status of a stage as well. So what that means is there are 4 different statuses. You can have a new one: in progress, completed, and rejected. So you can configure which stage, which status is linked to a stage. So for example, again, these two here are both in the in progress. This one's rejected and this one's completed. And then finally, you can set up your different automations as well. So again, depending on what plan you're on, you can click on Configure Actions over here, click on Add Automation. And what this means is when a submission reaches this stage, an automation can occur, and you can set this up here. So do you want to send a message? Do you want to, when it reaches the stage, assign it to a certain user? Do you want to update the score, add tags, all that kind of thing you can do, and also send to a review panel as well. You can set that up in this section here. Really powerful to basically enable you to create any kind of workflow you want using a combination of all of these different options. The next section is the form builder section. So this is where you can customize the forms that your different creators fill in when they submit materials. So you can customize the fields, you can add as many as you want, you can add themes, images, headers, backgrounds, all that kind of thing, and you can do it all from this section here. Now, because you filled in what industry, or what we filled in that we were an art exhibition, it's created a form for me already, which is customized as if I am an art exhibition. So it has all the fields in here, for example, artwork title, obviously the attachment, the medium, height, width, all that kind of thing is already filled out for me that I can then go and then edit each of these fields. So maybe I don't want this one here, so I can delete that one in here, but maybe I want to add another field. So click on Add Field, I can select from one of these options here. Maybe I just want to add a text box in there, and you'll see that will appear at the bottom. I can then drag that into whatever section I so wish. And then customize that however I want. So yeah, I can chop and change those different fields. I can then add in a background image or a header. So in this case, I'm just going to put in a quick background image in here to get things going. And that's added that one in there. And then just going to make this a little bit less transparent, as it is already. And there's my background image that I've added in there. You can just sort of see it behind that in there as an example. And last thing I want to do is maybe I just want to tweak the thank you message in here, or maybe I want to restrict the amount of submissions a creator can make. So I can do that in there as well. When you're happy with those changes, you just click on this Publish Changes option here at the top. It will tell you what the changes that you've made, select Publish, and then it will come up with a link that you can follow. So if I just click on this here, it will then take me through to the form that I've just created. So you can see that in there like so. You can see this is currently in draft status. So if I wanted to make this live, I can come back to my general settings over here. and I can come down to this section here, and then I can just change this to either private if I want this link to send this privately to someone, or I can change to public in there. And then essentially this form is now live and good to start taking submissions. You can see that at the top up there. Again, click on this option here. You can view this form at any point, or you can copy it to your clipboard and share it with whoever you so wish. The final option in this section is the review section. Now, I won't go into this fully today, but on our higher plans, you can create what we call review panels. Now, a review panel is a panel of reviewers or judges, and with each of your different projects or calls, you can create different panels for those calls. And then when it comes to your submissions, you can send your submissions to that panel for review. They can leave scores, votes, and comments on each of those different submissions as well. Won't go into that today, but that's an option that you can set up here as well. And the final thing I want to do is I want to create a page where all of my different projects and the associated forms and links with those forms all appear on one single URL. And now that URL you can place on your website, in socials, in mailouts, whatever it might be. That URL will never change, even if each of these different calls and the forms within them do change. A little bit like a link tree. So the way I'm going to set that up is I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to select form listing page. I'm going to select manage. And here is where I can create my page or multiple pages. I can have many of these if I so wish. So I'm going to select create page and I'm just going to call this Dapple Gallery. Yep. Click on create page and you'll see it then has created this page here. I can then select that to get through to the actual settings of this page. So I've got the title, I can change the URL in here if I want. I've got some guidance text which will appear at the top of the page, which I'll show you in a second. And then I can have whether I want this to be active or closed. I'm then going to save those changes in there. Next, I'm just going to create a quick design for this. So in this case, I'm just going to put a quick background image on there to make things look a little bit more interesting. And let's click on save. I'm then going to come up here and choose which of my projects I want to show in that form. So we've just created the Dapple annual prize. So I'm just going to select that and make that active in here. I can add some of these other ones. I can chop and change what order they show in the page as well. And then I'm going to save my changes and then I'm going to view it to see what it looks like. So this is what I've just created. You can see I've put that background image on there. I've got my intro text and I've got this project which is available, and then if I then select that, you'll see it then takes me through to the form I created before. And then essentially you're good to go. You're ready to start taking submissions and running your awards, your contests, any applications, all that kind of thing. You're good to go. The very last thing I want to show you in terms of setup is how to duplicate your project once you have got it running. So if I just head back to the projects section here, a really useful option is I've just created the Dapple annual prize here. If I select these three options here and select duplicate project, you can duplicate this project. It will copy all the forms, all the stages, everything you've set up for that. It will copy it and create a brand new project. So really useful if you've set everything up, you've got your templates, everything the way that you like it, and you just need to replicate that for a new call, but change the dates, etc. Just use this duplicate project option and it will save you a load of time. If you need any help, get in touch with us via the chat on our website and or on the app, or we've got a knowledge base with lots of different articles on everything that I've been through today. Thank you very much.